Check, 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 check.
Double check, 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 check. Triple check, okay. Hello, hello. How are we this morning? Thank you very much, Andra. Please, what were you saying, Andra? Can you give it another try and maybe follow Andra's example? Good morning. How are you today? That's more like the spirit. Hello, everybody. My name is Andrei, and I'm a party pooper. I come in front of you to confess that. Yes, I was talking this morning with my psychologist, telling him, her, what I was doing yesterday, and he said that in order to remove all the sins, it's better to go and apologize in front of the people who you did wrong. So, sorry for yesterday. I know I deserved all your boos, and now because we have finished with all the boos, hopefully now we're going to start with all the yeas. Okay, so today is the moment that we've been waiting for, especially the people from EGL, because you are going back home, right? But before that, we have something special. Because it's not happening in every day to have high-level politicians being here in front of you, sending messages, and also being able to be sent messages. They are on their way. You know how it is with politicians when they go in a place, especially if they come from Europe, they have to check a lot of things. So they are on their way. Somebody hopefully will announce me in due time when they arrive. But I would like to kind of warm up a little bit the atmosphere for us, first of all, and for them as well. Yeah? Because it's such a joyful morning, and well, where are the sheep? They left. Okay, they're lost. But it's so nice and sunny out there, and because we'd like to coordinate ourselves with the politicians, I would like to have some sort of coordination activity before, and because now it's a high season for Eurovision, just finished, right? I'm not going to talk about all the things happening around it. I'm talking about the real thing. We are going to see if we're going to win a prize at the Eurovision. And how does it go? You are what? Youth workers, I heard? Yeah. Youth workers? Yeah. Okay. Then what we're going to do, we're going to sing the Ode of Joy, you know, like the European hymn. But not in every way. Some people have already done it. It's one of my favorite things. I cannot help it when politicians are coming. I have the feeling that we have to do something like this. So, you know how it goes, yes? How does it go? Even me, with this lousy voice, if I can sing it for sure, you can do it much better than me. And we're going to do it, but we're going to do it in a different way. And the people who are here, it's so good when you have the room already split in half, are going to sing it, but when they're going to sing it in testa or la 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 or whatever, you're going to sing it with chi. Yeah? So shall we give it a try? And 3, and 2, and 1, and chi, 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 chi. Okay, it's good for the warming up. Thank you. Now, the people on this side, I'm not going to go with right and left because, well, also politically speaking, it's very messy right now. So you are going to do the same thing, but with so, yes? So, shall we give it a try? 1, and 3, and 2, and 1. So, so. So, 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 so. Come on, guys, you can. The commissioner is not hearing you. I don't think she's coming if she doesn't hear you. Okay, that was the warming up, and that's good, okay? But now we're going to do it, and watch out because they didn't announce you, but you know, there is a camera right now, right here. All the people that were there in Eurovision are watching you. And already start giving you heads up, hearts, good messages, good vibes, and so on and so forth. And we have to sing for them, right? We have to show Europe what a youth worker is all about, right? And what I'm going to do, I'm going to go right, left, right. And when I'm going to point in one direction, you are going to sing, like with chi and with so, right? Okay, but of course, when I'm going to change, you are going to continue from the same beat. You don't stop all over again. Okay, shall we give it a try? Okay, so it's going to be like, and 1, and 2, and 3, and... Okay, good. We're receiving good vibes from back home. Yes, you can... Say what? Sorry? We are not live, so guys. We're not live, sorry. And they said this was just the warm-up. Now it's going to be the real thing, okay? But I want you to really put some heart into it, and I want you to pay very good attention, because it's not going to go easy like chi, chi, chi. It's going to be like faster, okay? So we have to coordinate ourselves. And we start in 3, and 2, and 1, and... Everybody now! Brilliant! Thank you very much! Woo! Yeah, the commissioner is coming now, apparently. And also the president of the European Committee of the Regions is joining as well. Cred că sosiți, nu? Sorry, just some sort of coordination. Cam în cât timp estimați să ajungeți? Perfect. Bun, în regulă, mulțumim mult. Vă așteptăm. Of course, this was all set up from the very beginning, yeah? I told her, at that precise moment you should call. Yeah, they just left. So much for the politician punctuality. And we had such high hopes for them. Can please somebody from my team answer this? Sorry. Bună ziua! Nu, dar nu este ok, este în regulă. Vă așteptăm cu drag. Bine, mulțumim. Am să vă rog dacă se poate un text ca să pot să desfășur, că începem să desfășurăm niște activități. Mulțumesc mult! Okay, so this is the dream of any facilitator, isn't it? To be here and to know that at 20 past sharp you are going to start, and then to be announced like, no, you still have 10-15 more minutes. Okay, so we can, yeah, of course we can sing some more. But actually, before singing some more, let me do some boring things as well, as it is. Because I mean, if they're coming late, at least you should be aware of what's happening right now, right here, and to see what is the flow of the whole thing. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guests. And we're going to have a panel discussion on that topic over there. Yeah, what is it? Youth work in the spotlight. Okay? And the whole point is to take advantage on the fact that we've been here for some days. We already collected some information that could be quite useful for some of the people. And we're going to have 2 representatives coming from us. And in your warm applause, please, Ilaria and Victor. They'll be joining us here. Thank you very much for not letting... No, you can still, I mean, if you want to stay, but it's a very odd feeling to be here on the stage when the others are not here. But if you can come if you want. So they will be joining us and they will send our messages and put our perspectives as youth workers towards the other people. We're going to have 2 mayors to see also the local perspective of somebody in the municipality who has also the power to do something about it. We're gonna have also the Secretary of State for the Ministry of Family, Youth and Equality of Chances on the way. It's okay. She's already here. Yes, over there. Hi, Isa! So to have the local but also the national perspectives, and of course we are going to have 2 high-level politicians. And probably you heard of Miss Mariya Gabriel, which is the commissioner in charge of many things, among others also youth. And unfortunately, I don't know, but also in the title, if you can see, youth is at the very end. So today we have to prove it that youth maybe should move a little bit higher. So no pressure, guys, and no pressure, guys. And we have also Mr. Tzitzikostas, which is the president of the European Committee of the Regions, which is somebody very important when it comes to local administration, right? So the right people to send our messages. And how does it go? It's going to be even under a more tremendous time pressure right now with the speeches. Each of them will have a question. And probably you did not expect that, but they were prepared in advance, yeah, because this is how it goes. They are going to answer the question, and you can also interact. But you are going to interact because of the time, and so on and so forth. We are going to use this wonderful tool called the Mentimeter. Therefore, maybe it would be a good idea now to go also to www.menti and answer that code 41235421. Because you'll be able, when each speaker is going to say their bit, you can interact and you can send some words of inspiration. Be it comments, be it questions, be it proposals or of anything. So they will have it, at least at the end when they will finish. We promise we are going to make a nice package of all of them and send it to them to have some inspiration. And because we thought that, I mean, you know how it is. Normally the politician comes, they say their bits and they leave. Therefore, this time things are going to work a little bit different. I don't know, youth workers and what's in their heads and how they're messing things up. Because first we are going to have the civil society speaking to make sure that the politicians are really going to listen to them. Yeah. So Ilaria and Victor will start. And then we'll have the mayors, and then we'll have Isa, and then we'll have them. So they will be able also to answer and address some of the issues that will be said there. It's not necessarily a promise, but at least this is what we'll try to do. And in terms of interaction, yeah, I know it would be so much nicer to have more time and also be able to give you the microphones to also ask some direct questions, but I'm afraid we'll have to do this via Mentimeter, and we're going to have questions for the commissioner, but also because we'd like to see the perspective of the commissioner from a different point of view, she will have the chance to ask Ilaria and Victor one question as well to see the perspective. You know, sometimes from questions you can find a lot of things about how people are thinking, okay? So basically, this is how it's going to work. We should be finishing in 1 hour, probably even less now, because there are some other very important things happening, like right now, and is Andras here? No? Okay, no problem. Because there is going to be a very important moment today as well. The youth capitals are going to sign a charter in order to put this program also on the spotlight, and the commissioner is going to be there. So you can see high-level moments all over the place here. Yes, and this is how it goes. All good? Yeah. Let me check if there is any update on the way things are. No? Okay. All right. Then let's come back to our original way of doing things. You started the singing, and I would like maybe, if we have the time, to prepare a little bit the entrance of the commissioner. And in order to do that, I think I'll have time for actually two exercises, one very short and one a bit longer. I would like to kindly stand up, ask you to stand up. Hopefully you did not do this exercise. And to stand up, like you stand up in front of the people that you have most dear in your hearts, your youth workers, and to be very straight, yes? And imagine that there is some sort of a string coming from the top of the building, coming in the top of your head and pulling you up. And it's pulling you up. And please reach it and try to drag it, and reach it and drag it, and reach it and drag it. And I mean, it's not any kind of strings. These are the strings of thoughts that we keep on sharing for the last few days. So these are your thoughts. But look, it's not only my thought. There are so many other, 250 other thoughts. Okay, let's go and grab one here and grab one there. Yeah, don't be shy, don't be shy. Grab the other thoughts as well. Yes. Yes, because this is what this thing is all about, getting inspiration. Get all the inspiration. Yes, and now take some more, now put it in a very nice wrap. Create a nice ribbon on it. Make it small, it's a magical one. And put it in your heart. Okay, thank you very much. And hopefully these moments that you've been spending here with people from 29 countries are going to be moments that you'll be carrying on in your heart with that nice ribbon from now on as well. And hopefully what is going to happen right now is going to be another good string to be worth keeping on it and doing things together. Because this is how things are working. If you really want to be effective as youth workers, sometimes we like it, sometimes we don't, but sometimes we have to suck it up. We have to work with a lot of people. And we have to work, of course, with people from the community. We have to work with people that are in charge and they take decision. And sometimes, once again, we like it. Hopefully today we're going to like it. And it's good to pull all these strings and put them all together. And hopefully not to make a mess, but to have a very nice network of people and thoughts. Okay, and now let's warm up a little bit. Maybe you can prepare a moment for the commissioner. And the president and the mayors and Isa as well, and you. Because first of all, it's all about you, to be fair. And, you know, there is this wonderful band that is called Queen, if I remember correctly. And they had a song that actually they made it. I mean, these guys are brilliant because they're very good social animators. They didn't even know it. But you know that when they made We Will Rock You, you know the story of We Will Rock You? Actually, it was made in the concerts precisely to warm up and animate people. So they were youth workers in their hearts, although they didn't know it. So, you know how it goes, yes, with the we will rock you, okay? We are going to follow the beat. I'm going to change a little bit the words, if you don't mind. Because I think we can welcome the people here and know who is here. And we're going to go with we are youth workers, okay? Coming from all Europe to share something with you. And that's it. Yeah, I think that could be nice. Shall we give it a try? And I mean, let's try to keep the beats. You know how, I mean, first of all, without the words. And how does the beat goes when you don't have words and drums? 2 claps and 1 more on the feet. Okay? So shall we give it a try? And 1 and 2 and 3. Keep the rhythm, don't rush it. We are youth workers. Coming from all over Europe. Having something to share. Brilliant. If you have some other brilliant ideas on what to address them, that is also more than welcome. So it's all good. Are we okay? We already have the rock entrance for our rock stars, you know how it is with the rock stars, right? They announce the concert at 11, and then the guy comes and tells, okay, we cannot have any more thing happening after 11 because there's no party in Romania after 11. But they show up at 12, yeah, and people come back and do their thing and so on and so forth. Do you have any news? Yeah, okay. So, yes, this is how it goes. They are the rock stars of today, so we have to behave and to be like the cheer, still loving crowd of our rock stars of today. Well, of course, we have to breathe in and breathe out in order to do that. And, yeah. But there is something happening, apparently. Okay. Okay, we can breathe, yes. But you know how it is, with youth workers, it's nice to share. If there is anybody who has a brilliant idea on how to fill in some moments for the last moment, this is your moment to shine. Yes? Yeah, can you share with them what, because I mean, it's your idea, I don't want to steal it, this is how it goes. Yes. Yeah. And,
this microphone works, it works, thank you. So,
you know Dom, yeah, the facilities
you know
of Europe,
me,
those locals,
okay.
the best guy. Besides
Yes.
Koen, of course, who is the mother and the father of them all.
and maybe to do a small activity, well, we now have the entrance, but also we need to warm up our brains. I would suggest maybe that you turn around and find a person and make some pairs. You don't have to move the chairs, just turn around to each other. Or to each other, it depends how you want. And maybe you can think about what would you like to ask the commissioner and mayors of Cluj-Napoca, Braga, or maybe just to think...
Especially blah blah, I like that
yeah?
one, yes.
Just to think a little bit more, you know, what you want to ask, yeah? Because it will be then quite easier to see it on the Mentimeter later and you can then post it later on, yeah? Does this make sense? Yeah? So maybe just to warm up a little bit, yeah, you can turn around to each other, or I see here as well that people are just sitting, two of them together, and you can start, yeah? Maybe.
And be ready because they'll be here in 3 minutes. So now we know that we have 3 minutes to do that.
3 minutes to do
and
that.
And after that, remember, we are youth workers, right? Da, Oana, am înțeles că... Scuze, stai... 30 seconds, ladies and gentlemen, till lunch. Sorry? Yeah. Bine, ok. I can see some cars. Okay, guys. I hope you had a very good, inspiring moment to share it with our distinguished guests right now, right here. They are getting ready. Are you ready? Do you have your voices warm up? Let's They are coming. And we start in a few seconds. After they'll be shaking hands and stalling some more time. Time that we need so much. Okay, guys, we are youth workers, remember? And 3 and 2 and 1. We are youth workers. Come on, guys, you practiced. Coming from Europe. We have a bit of something. Welcome, welcome. Thank you very much. And we have a bit of something to share with you, and hopefully you have a bit of something to share with us. This is the way. Thank you very much. Welcome. Thank you. Andrea, shall we do it? No? Okay. Madam Commissioner, this is you. Okay, Mr. Tzitzikostas over there. Yes, thank you very much. Mr. Mayor, yes. Okay. Isa, thank you very much. And another one. Welcome. And thank you very much for taking a bit of your precious time, and hopefully, because it's even less of a precious time, to make the best of it. Here we are, almost 300 people from 29 countries, youth workers, coming in front of you, looking forward to see what you have to tell for them, but also hopefully you're also looking forward to see what they have to say to you. We're going to have a little bit of a panel, and first we're going to start with the civil society, because normally it's going the other way around, but hopefully it's good from time to time to start differently, so you as decision makers could also take some words of inspiration from them as well. And then you are going to have a question to be answered, and in the same time, while you are going to have your speech, over there they can give some words of wisdom and some inspiration for the speaker, in the sense that they can put you questions or simply give suggestions and so on and so forth. And at the end, promise, we'll wrap it up and send it to you as well to have it as inspiration. Okay, now, who do we have here? Who is in the room? I'm not going I'm just going to briefly present them. We have Ilaria from Associazione Culturale VERGANTE from Italy. We have Victor from Bacău from Romania. We have Ms. Mariya Gabriel, the EU Commissioner for many things, including youth. We have Mr. Bog, the mayor of Cluj, and one of the hosts of today. We have Mr. Apostolos Tzitzikostas, the president of the European Committee of the Regions. Mr. Ricardo from Braga, from Portugal, from the other way of Europe, to give also the European dimension. And last but not least, Izabella Doboly, the Secretary of State for Youth Affairs in Romania, to have a wider and as fulfilling, hopefully, interventions from different points of view. Because we are a bit late, we're going to shorten a little bit the speeches. This is how it goes, yes. And we're going to start with Ilaria. 3 minutes, Ilaria. For 3 days, you've been here in Europe Goes Locals. Which are the 3 key messages that you'd like these people to hear? Go.
Yeah. Hello to everybody, my name is Ilaria and I'm very glad to be here. I really would like to thank you, the European Goes Local family, for this opportunity. These days were really amazing. Before of all, we met again after COVID, and I have 3 messages. The first is that we have a lot of inspiration, and from the platform we really would like to use it as a tool for sharing good practices and also for realize the same project in all Europe, because we or our colleagues around Europe. The second one is that I heard a very nice sentence about that the youth work is like an octopus, and so it's very interesting because I really think that is a good point, because we are multitasking, like that we have more than 2 hands, because we have digital skills, skills in language, and we organizing event. And the other very important message is that we could, as the octopus, live in the water and out of the water, because we usually deal with a lot of ambiguity. And so I found that during pandemic COVID, all the world stopped, but as youth workers, we meet online, we deliver session online, we organize a workshop for youngsters online. And so the third and very important message for me, for us, for all the team here, is that we deserve a recognition of our job, of our passion, and of our daily routine. So we are here to raise our voice to ask for this kind of recognition at local, regional, national, at European level. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Ilaria. Even in 2 minutes. Brilliant. You seem like this is going in the right direction. And I would like to kindly remind you, on Mentimeter, you can also make the comments and give some inspiration. You can see there here that there is a focus on communities and recognition. These are probably the 2 key words. So Ilaria was representing the Europe Goes Local European Conference, but in the same time we have also a national convention of the youth workers. And we also have a lot of Romanians, and on behalf of the youth workers from Romania, we invited Victor. And Victor, you are one of the guys who built up a very interesting concept. There is going to be a Youth Capitals charter signing soon, but we have a European Youth Village. And let's see, what is European Youth Village? And what are the challenges of the youth workers in rural areas? Victor, please.
Okay, hello everybody, and thank you for inviting me here and having the opportunity to talk about the European Youth Village. First, I'm a youth worker. I'm a youth worker involved in working with the young people from rural areas and the coordinator of the European Youth Village program. And firstly, to support the young people and the youth workers from both urban and rural communities, we need policy frameworks that are relevant for both. And if so far the approach on building youth policies was from up to down, this proof of not being that efficient, especially if we think about the impact a youth policy should have. So we are talking more and more about intersectionality in the youth policies, and yet the young people and the youth workers from rural areas, they are not that visible. They are not a priority, and also they are not part of the processes of developing youth policies. Our experience with the European Youth Village program showed us that if we want to have a real impact upon the young people and the youth workers, we should start to change the perspective and to start building policies from grassroots up. You know, we need this change of perspective. And this is what we actually do through European Youth Village. So this is a program, is a community organizing, a community development program, which aims to contribute to the development of the rural youth sector, to develop the young people and the youth workers from the villages, and to put them in the center of all the processes. So through this program, we successfully managed so far to develop, you know, the young people and the youth workers, to give visibility to the young people and the youth workers, to improve and develop inclusive youth policies, to contribute to the development of the rural youth sector, but most important, to create a change the young people from the rural areas needs now. Everything started with a title 4 years ago, but now it becomes more than just a title, because we realize that we need, you know, to have a wider approach in how to develop the entire rural youth ecosystem. So that's why we are building and launching this year the white paper, the charter of the young people from rural areas, finally setting priorities of youth. If they are not consulted so far, finally we will know what they are wishing for, what are their interests, what are their needs. We are also developed the informal network of the young people from rural areas, which aims to connect people. We are also building the Go Rural platform, which will be the first federative structure focused on the informal groups. And of course, we are organizing the Rural Youth Summit, and hopefully soon I will be able to invite you all to the European Rural Youth Summit. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Victor. And you could see the youth work cooperation, because Ilaria has finished 1 minute earlier, but rural young people need more of a spotlight, so it took a bit seconds more, but that's fine. Now we'd like, because in order to have some sort of dialogue, maybe if, Madam Commissioner, you may have some curiosities about what you heard, also from people working in rural areas or all over Europe, you may address them one question, one to Ilaria and one to Victor. And remember, in the meanwhile, you can still put comments from for Victor on the Mentimeter. So, Madam Commissioner, please.
Well, first of all, dear young people, I would like to start by saying that 2023 is the European Year of Youth, and for me, our youth are not only our future, you are our present. That's why that's my first proposal. It's always good to shape together our future, but let's co-create the concrete, adequate solutions for the real needs of our youth now, with you, for you. That's why, Ilaria, my first question is, what you, with all the efforts, the networks, and all these amazing people with whom you are working, would like to see as legacy of the European Year of Youth? Because for me, the biggest challenge is to see the European Year of Youth not stopping at 31st of December 2020. So please, don't hesitate to share with us what you'd like to see as initiative coming from youth, taking into consideration the demand of youth, and that will be there in 23, in 24, in 25.
Yeah, 1 minute per each. I guess it was a question for both of them, right?
Yes.
1 minute each in order to... Yeah.
Yes, thank you for this question. I think that is very important that politicians at your level are interested in the thing that we really need. First of all, I would like to say that we have different kind of situation in different countries, and so in some place you can find, for example, education for youth work, or spaces for youth, or some specific law and budget for them, and not in all Europe is the same. So I would like to express this desire that could be like a standardization, a standard quality of youth work and for youth, because if you are a youngster, you need and you deserve the same rights and the same opportunity, not depending on the country where you live. So I think that the first of all is try to push a little bit the country that are a little bit backward related to other countries that could lead us with their best practice, their information, to reach them and to go together for a better Europe that really is based on development and try to make the youngster the really focus for the future.
Thank you very much, Ilaria. Thank you very much. Victor, 1 minute.
Okay, so this is the perfect time when the young people from rural areas should become visible. I mean, they were ignored too much. And this is the moment when we're finally able to build the tools, the mechanism on how the young people and the youth workers from rural areas should have access to resources, development opportunities. Youth workers, we need more youth workers in the rural areas because the young people are actually having both roles in the rural areas. They are young persons and still also youth workers organizing, for the others. So we need mechanism to support them. And also it's very important that this year to enable them to be part of the decision-making process, to have all the mechanism that they can be part of the decision. The young people not need just a voice, but they need the tools to participate. And this is the moment when we can do that.
Victor, if I may, it's good to have our young people in the decision-making process, and I must say that in that case we have just to strengthen some of our existing instruments because we have youth forum, we have the youth dialogue, the youth strategy. For me, the challenge is how to take young people on board for the implementation of the decisions that are taken. That's here we need definitely to do something more, and that's why I welcome this idea, because I think that during the European Year of Youth, the Youth Check initiative, to take into consideration always the point of view of youth into any legislation that will help, but after to involve young people in the implementation, that will be a perfect legacy. And you encourage me a lot because you have a very solid base, you have a vision, you have the energy of all these amazing people here. So please continue to raise your voice because it's so important what you are doing and what you are proposing.
Okay, thank you very much. Raise your voice. Let me hear your voice. Woo! Give a cheer. Yes, they are here visible, but there are so many others who would like to be visible. And yes, we promise you that by the end of the next week, and guys, we need your help, we're going to send you all the concrete proposals on how to actually empower and make them more and more visible. Now, we're going to move on because time is of an essence, and we'd like to kindly thank the guy. I mean, it's almost, I'm afraid, you know how it goes. Normally, the politicians are going first. Now, participants are going to go first, so you can see how it feels, right? And we know that we have some people that will have to catch some flights. Thank you very much, guys, for being here with us. And hopefully we are going to meet again sooner or later in this big village that is Europe, right? In the meanwhile, we are going to continue. And I would like to go further to the other side of Europe now. We'll go to Portugal. And I would like to kindly ask Mr. Ricardo, the mayor of Braga, about the European Youth Capitals, because you're a very important, I mean, everybody's important, but you're somebody who advocated quite a lot. And if you can tell us a little bit about the program and what kind of value it brings to youth work.
Well,
3 minutes. Yes.
Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to see so many youth workers from all over Europe gathered together. And as Commissioner mentioned, talking about youth is not talking about the future as it was supposed to be a couple of years ago. When we talk about youth, we are talking about the present, and all the local authorities are committed to youth unless they don't want to be competitive or they don't want to survive at all. And the big difference from the European capitals is that more than just being committed with youth, we try to engage and to involve youth and youth representatives in the shape of our policies, in the co-creation and the design of all initiatives through formal and informal mechanisms. We have the local youth councils, we have so many other activities with youth associations, and the basis of this project is that we have all over Europe already a lot of cities that are so engaged in allowing the youth representatives and the youth workers to participate in the shape of the policies for our territories. The Youth Capital title is one that has been awarded since 2009, as you may know, but you will see many known faces here, from Braga in 2012 to Thessaloniki in 2014, Cluj in 2015, Varna in 2017. And so these are the cities that at the European level are usually engaged in forefront topics, in sustainability, in cultural development, in innovation. And the youth engagement is a crucial element because we believe that's how we can obviously shape the future of our territories through the engagement of the citizens and their representatives. And this network is also an opportunity to exchange experiences, to find best practices, to develop joint projects. And already since this year, we have developed a lot of candidacies, for instance, through to Erasmus Plus networks, which have raised over 7 million euros of projects altogether. And what we want to do is not only to foster the collaboration between the cities that were already capitals of youth in Europe, but also to stimulate other cities in Europe to follow these best practices. And we want other cities to align to these objectives, other partners to participate as projects in the projects that we wish to develop. And therefore, it is very important to be here with you and to share this experience. And I hope that all of you will be able to participate with this new structure that we will create in a couple of minutes. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the 25 minutes that you offered us. Now we're going to go also from one mayor to another, also to Mr. Boc, and tell us a little bit about, because you have now a youth strategy, right, in place. Which are the key priorities of the youth strategy in Cluj? And don't forget also to put some inspirations for the people here on the Mentimeter.
Thank you, first of all, for the most energetic welcome I ever had as a mayor and as official. I really feel all the energy from your heart to our heart. But now I want to tell you something to reflect. Less than 300 kilometers from this very place, people on your age are fighting with Kalashnikov in their hands and are dying, unfortunately, not being in conference on the computers or doing digital on internet. Unfortunately, they are dying because the war is back in Europe. When we say never again, Europe really means never again. And that EPP said, the most important part in the European Union, we have to fight for this never again. And Europe is more united than ever in this very moment to say the war is over in Europe and we have to defend democracy and our values. So always think about, when you do everything, democracy is not forever, it's not for granted. You have to pay attention and to defend it. And what we are doing, working and collaborating together, is the most important way of achieving democracy and keep democracy working. So congratulations to you to work together, because this is the real future of Europe. At the beginning of Europe, Jean Monnet said once, after 2 world wars, mieux vaut se disputer autour d'une table que sur un champ de bataille. Yes, it's better to work around the table than on the battlefield. And that should be our Europe. So pay attention to this. Your question, please. My answer. 2 important elements in our strategy. Agora Forum for Youth, the place to debate, discuss, and present projects and to implement it. The second one, Civic Education and Imagination Center for Youth, the place where you can dream, you can present, and to reflect and to criticize our policies in the field of youth in Cluj-Napoca. We have the local council of youth, just last month we succeed to have it as a counterpartner, as a partner in our policies. So nothing without you and everything together to implement our strategy. I pay attention to the freedom of movement. You have in your blood freedom of movement as the technology also. Freedom of movement in Europe is a religion. But no one should be forced to leave his own city, village, country, or region due to the economic reason. It's our job together to prepare the best conditions, the best quality of life in every place in Europe in order to have a real freedom of movement in Europe. Up to you, not forced to do that. So that's, I think, it's one of the best strategy for us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And thank you very much for reminding us what's happening here. And I would like to take this a chance to remind that there are a lot of youth workers who are there in the very front line, welcoming people coming from Ukraine and actually doing a lot of activities here in order to feel welcome, and they come here when they're in transit. So thank you very much for pointing out. Coming to the strategy, you have some messages that you'll be receiving there. Youth center is something that people might be, they are thinking that could be good. How to more empower young people, especially, and to give them voice, and especially marginalized, and how to make processes more youth-led. So thank you very much, once again. Now we're going, because we've seen the local perspective, let's go to the national perspective, and let's go to the Ministry of Family, Youth and Equality of Chances, which is basically one of the organizers, the main organizers of the National Convention as well. And we'd like to kindly ask Ms. Izabella Doboly, Secretary of State for Youth Affairs, which are the plans for the Ministry of Youth, let's call it like this, in terms of youth workers in the near future?
Thank you for the question. Distinguished Commissioner, Honorable Mayor, Honorable Youth Representatives, dear colleagues, youth workers are an essential pillar of our society when it comes to developing the young generations who are not only the future, but more important, the key to present time, as you said before. I am truly grateful that with the support of the Erasmus Agency in Romania and DAYS Association, that's a youth organization from Romania, the second edition of the National Convention of the Youth Workers involved more than 200 professionals who can exchange ideas, good practices, and can contribute to meaningful recommendations for how we can support them in providing quality youth work. During the Year of Youth, European Year of Youth, we are given the opportunity to bring together young people, youth workers, and youth organizations. We must not forget their effort during the COVID-19 pandemic, when they volunteered to help those in need. Let me once more thank you, volunteers, youth workers, and youngsters, that you have been present at the borders from the first day of the humanitarian crisis. We take pride in our youth sector's accomplishments, and this is the reason why we want to create a better framework for the development of the youth workers who need quality standards to pursue their activities. In Romania, under the auspices of the European Year of Youth, we aim to create a youth worker charter, a strategic document that will consist of a reflection process of understanding the youth work nowadays after the pandemic crisis. We aim to empower young people. At the proposal of the youth organization, the Ministry of Family, Youth and Equal Opportunities added a fifth national objective for the European Year of Youth: support for the young people coming from the armed zones of Ukraine. I want to state once more my support for the young people, youth workers, and youth organizations. I guarantee that all the proposals submitted will be given to decision makers. Nonetheless, I want to thank everyone for the energy and ideas brought into debate these days. We also will create a platform where the young youth organization can submit their activities, events, and programs, and also are able to communicate between themselves and can match young people interested in volunteering with the actions of the organizations. We live throughout challenging times. The young generations will be the leaders of tomorrow. We have to create the context for them to better develop. As President von der Leyen said, we must be sure no one is left behind. But we must look forward confidently. So, as Charlie Chaplin said, look up to the sky. You'll never find rainbows if you are looking down.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have some, talking about looking up, we have some proposals that you'll be receiving as well, very much around the youth law, the dialogue, resources, and so on and so forth. Nothing new, but sometimes from time to time it's important to remind them. Thank you very much. Now we're going to go to the European level, right? And we're going to start with Mr. Tzitzikostas, and it's not any moment when you have two high-rank officials in Romania, so thank you very much for taking the time to be here. We'd like to kindly ask you, because, I mean, in terms of local activities, and this is a conference where there has to do a lot of youth work in at the local level, if you can tell us from what you heard, what is, and what kind of policies you have right now, what can be taken here as a source of inspiration and embedded in your policies in the Committee of the Regions?
Well, first of all, thank you very much for this kind invitation. It's a great honor and a pleasure for me to be here with you today. And I would like to thank Emil, your mayor, for inviting me to this beautiful, beautiful place, this beautiful city. Coming from Thessaloniki, which was a youth capital and is also a city with a lot of young people, we have about 150,000 students in Thessaloniki. I understand firsthand how important it is to give opportunities to young people through education, high and good education, and through the connection of the education and the market, the real economy. And at the same time, I believe that we need to give the voice to the young people much more than what so far has been done. As Committee of Regions, we have first of all joined forces with the European Youth Forum in order to launch the process of co-creation of a European Charter of Youth and Democracy. This process should lead by the end of the year to recommendations on how to improve the participation of young people in democratic processes. And at the same time, we have created the YEP program, the Young Elected Politicians program, where young people from all across Europe is visiting Brussels and get acquainted to the process that Europe works. Now, if you ask me, I think we need to move to some very important and concrete steps from now on. First of all, I think that we need to create youth local councils everywhere in Europe, everywhere, in all regions, all cities. I have done it in my region, in my city. It works, and it helps us a lot. And it helps young people get involved in politics. The second thing, which is very important, and I think we need to discuss it very seriously, is to find a way to see how legislation, how decisions taken at the EU level affect everyday life of young people. So we need to create a task force in Europe, which could be called Youth Test, which would see how, when, and how much does the legislation or the decisions that are being taken affecting in a positive or negative way young people, and then change, ameliorate, or make different calls in this decision-making process. We need to involve young people in the decisions. We cannot talk about the future without the young people, and we cannot let other people decide for us without us. This is my motto.
Thank you very much for this very good and always effective words if they are put in actions. And thank you very much. 3 minutes exactly. Wonderful. You are going to also receive, I mean, you have some comments there, like the educational systems that could not necessarily always be used as an example, and youth indicators for regional policies, and the quality framework for youth work, and so on and so forth. You will be receiving it next week, we promise you that. And ladies and gentlemen, last but not least, we'd like to kindly, because, okay, this is a big event, right? Which is inspired and funded by a big program like Erasmus+. Everybody is giving us an example, but also the European Solidarity Corps. Yes, you can give a clap of applause for it. And you are the main political person that people are addressing to when it comes to this. But of course, we'd like also to address you pretty much the same questions. From what you heard here, what can be taken in this European Year of Youth? And which are probably, if you can put also in this, which are the key priorities in this year in terms of youth policies? And for that, because there are 2 questions in one, you'll have 7 minutes, and then we can take all some questions that can be put there as well. So, Madam Commissioner, the floor
Thank
is
you.
yours.
Thank you very much. What I hear here first is give a voice to young people. So I have a question. How many of you did you already record your voice on our digital platform, Voice Your Vision? How many? Good. That should be done next week, because now we have literally an instrument in our hands to listen to you. Voice your vision. Every one of you can record in your own language your message, your vision, what you would like to see during this European Year of Youth and what can be the legacy. That's my first message. When we talk about European Year of Youth, it's true, we need to listen to you, because we have the European Year of Youth because we are fully aware how much you suffered the last 2 years, because there is a recognition of all your efforts, of your energy. And I must say that I prefer always a positive narrative. I don't want to say that young people suffered. For me, young people have showed an extraordinary capacity of resistance, mobilization, solidarity, and that's what we need to celebrate. The second key word of our European Year of Youth is support. So, here I have one question too. How many of you already labeled on the European Youth Portal your own event, your own initiative? Wow, great!
These events are also there.
But that's really important, because that will be not the European Commission who will say the European Year of Youth and youth should do that and that. No, we have this interactive mapping. You told us very clearly we have priorities, and I would like just to remind you that you told us that the 3 main priorities for the European Year of Youth, it's education and training, it's climate change, and it's mental health. But we have 8 domains in which you are interested, in rural areas, in digital, in culture, in climate. So what we need now is to see where is this critical mass of initiatives that are already in the mapping, that we can continue to support in order to have them in long-term perspective. So for me, the second key word of the European Year of Youth is really support. Support via Erasmus Plus program, and here maybe something that you already know, but there is one important novelty in the new Erasmus Plus program is our youth participation scheme will support 500 projects, young people involved in democracy at local level and local, regional and national level. I'm really very proud with my team because we managed to increase the budget. We have 30 million euros, dear young people, only for this year, 500 projects, so I count on you. Because Erasmus Plus is giving a lot of opportunities, but of course we have to create synergies. We have to show how young people can lead by example. The third key word is involve, and that was very clear, involve young people in the decision-making process. That's why I stay so open to this provocative idea of youth check, youth test, but I must say that I'm looking very positively at that. The other thing is that we need to involve our young people in the implementation. And that's why here I have one question too. Do you know who is the European coordinator for youth?
Yes.
You are all aware. So please, disturb her as much as possible. She's here for you. For the first time, we have a face, a phone number of the European Union for youth. Now she has this task. First, to be in contact with you. And my plea is here, we need fresh ideas. We need really new personalities, and I see here a lot of potential. And after, she can help you to coordinate internally, because as you can imagine, I'm the commissioner responsible for research, innovation, education, culture, and youth. But for sure, if you'd like to transform the green village from one success story to a European green villages in all our European regions, we need to coordinate this with the Commissioner of Agriculture. And Biljana Sirakova can help a lot. Why not? That can be one of the ideas. establish a network of European green villages. Just to tell you that yesterday I was in Delft. They have their own green village. They are not aware that there is other green villages in other countries. At least they talk that that's the only one example. So I think that what we are looking is to establish contact, and that we can help to build the networks and to see how you can scale your initiatives. So for me, the main question is not now to say what will be the most important messages, is to give you the full freedom during this entire year to raise the questions that are important for you, already to start to fulfill with content your proposals, from decision making to concrete initiatives in rural areas or on innovation or on digital. For mental health, we have to talk much more about this. And finally, to be ready really before the end of the year to say that's our main priorities. Because you will take these proposals on board and you will propose concrete solutions, the European Year of Youth will be there the next years and years, because young people will be in the driving seat. That's for me the purpose of this European Year of Youth, and that's what I retain from the atmosphere here.
Thank you very much. And I mean, at least I really heard that one. We give you the full freedom. But let's remind, I mean, to paraphrase, with full freedom comes great potential for rights and obligations. So it's good to have full freedom, but it's also good that in order to make sure that this freedom is used right and have the right channels to actually address all the needs there. We have several questions. I'm going to collect 2 or 3 of them and just put it all together so you can answer faster. Because you mentioned, I mean, there are several things about youth centers and youth spaces, whether the programs can also support the management of youth centers and youth-friendly spaces, and how that can be done. Also, with the rural young people, we can see that there is already a networking, and once again, thank you very much. It's good to have networks, I mean, to have the commissioners as a networker for youth workers. And you mentioned also the coordinator of the youth coordinators, and there's a question related to how the DGs can cooperate among themselves in order to actually make the best for young people, because everybody talks about Erasmus+, but actually most of the money are not in Erasmus+, are in programs like Youth Guarantee and everything that is following, and how to make sure that all these are put together in order to actually address the needs of the young people. And yeah, let's go with the youth centers and how we can put all this thing together at programs for the European level in order to actually answer the needs of the young people in year 2022. So, Madam Commissioner?
Well, from my side, first, full support to have space for youth work. I think that should be integrated in all our different policies, and actually that's what we are looking for with all my colleagues. And this question is linked to the other one, because since the beginning we are working, many commissioners, on this European Year of Youth, and of course we are doing things together, because how to address the issues on youth in rural areas without close cooperation with the Commissioner for Agriculture. We have already a lot of common projects with Commissioner Ferreira, and I would not accept the question of why the budget for European Year of Youth is lower than the European Year of Rail. If you know what is the real budget, maybe I have to fight a little bit more to show the real numbers. You will be really surprised how many billions we have for this European Year of Youth. And we have concrete examples with Commissioner Ferreira, and on regional development, we are working closely together to address the role of young people in our regions. Even actually, there is a very concrete example of young journalists coming from different regions. Unfortunately, I can't meet them because actually they are meeting in Brussels in order to exchange what is the different agendas in our regions, how to raise different issues, and for me that's something concrete. With Commissioner on Climate, we have the Plastic Pirates initiative. Young people from everywhere can be not only show that they would like to take care of waste, but what is important is that after they are working with researchers to understand how from these waste they can have new materials and to know a little bit more about the circular economy. So for sure, what is clear is that we need to give much more visibility of those synergies and much more concrete examples. I must say that the last 2-3 months, we all knew that European Year of Youth is very clearly the solidarity of our young people with Ukraine. That's why you know too that on the European Youth Portal there is a section dedicated to Ukraine, and we decided already one part of the activities during this year to be here to express your solidarity with Ukraine, and I would like to say big thank you, because spontaneously our young people since the first week of this Russian war in Ukraine were there and are very much mobilized. So yes, for me, again, if you have concrete examples where there is weaknesses, how to tackle them, but not only to show us where is weaknesses and how to tackle them with concrete solutions, that's your year. That's exactly what we need in order to address them. Otherwise, we'll continue to have a plethora of instruments and policies if we don't stay focused on 3-4 main deliverables that will make a difference for you. Thanks to this European Year of Youth, every one of us as commissioners will continue to do his or her job, and will continue to talk about synergies without any effect on the ground, and that's what young people are expecting from us.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. And we're slowly going towards the end. Mr. Mayor, and then final conclusions, and then maybe you can take a picture together for the.
I want to have a short comment of 30 seconds of one of the proposals here. Youth work. We have been discussing half an hour before we arrived here on another conference about supporting from the local level the living startups, the living laboratories, the living, how do I say, first job, the living, what's the term you use in the conference? Living laboratories and living startups or living mentors in the university. So to have a place in the university to develop your ideas with the support from local level, national, regional, and probably the European level. So think about in the university. But the problem is your very first job after the university. And here with the local level, we are designing a program to support the very first job for you. Because I think it's a key element. You cannot rely on your family forever. You need a support for the very first job. And here we design some kind of incentives for local businesses, for internships, or for whatever is possible to help you to get the very first job. After that, the second one, it's up to you. But the first one, you need the help. And here, I think it's our engagement to support you, and maybe from the European level with all the money available. And I think it's a critical point, first job for the youth. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We're slowly going towards the end. Just some final conclusion. I mean, it's clearly that we have different perspectives, and it's okay to have different perspectives. You don't have to all agree in the end, but it's important to understand each other's perspectives, first of all. One of the key points that I can say, it's clearly that also we look at youth work in a different ways, and that's fine. I mean, we can look at it from the labor point of view, but I just have to be, I feel the need to be the voice of the people here. Most of the youth workers are seeing like their work as something that is there side by side with the young person, supporting them throughout their whole life, from the social skills, community skills, communication skills, and only when they have these transversal skills we can go in more like labor. Also, because I think it was very important when policy, which has a bigger picture, meets grassroots, which has a very more focused image, but more close to the reality of that concrete place. And it's good that, for example, we have this example of the rural youth and how the thing was built bottom up. And once again, I would like to say, because I can see there is a lot of focus on agriculture, for example, when it comes to youth at European level, but they also need a lot of support from the human side point of view, if I may so. So and I think it's very good that we have this kind of discussions in order to understand each other's perspectives and to keep in mind that after all, whenever we go back home and we take out our youth workers or commissioner or mayor clothes, in the end, in front of the mirror is a human being who hopefully has doing its best in that particular day in order to make their community a little bit better. And I think this is the most important thing. And thank you very much for being here with us. Thank you very much, guys, for being here and being also present. We promise that by the end of the next week, you are going to receive Judith. Yes, Judith and Kun and Adi, thank you very much. They are the guys who make this possible from the NA point of view. And Judith, who is the mother and the father of the EGL, we may say so. So they're more like the middle ground people between the youth workers and you, and this is also very important to stress out that we need everybody on board in order to create youth policies for youth workers that are actually relevant. So if you are kind enough maybe to take, like in a youth worker way, a selfie together with everybody there in order to share it, and next you are going to have all of our conclusions as well on how to do this and maybe do some next steps. Thank you very much. Maybe we can stay here facing, I mean, it's my fault if they're going to be at the back with you just for the sake of the picture. And if you can also, the people from the sides come a bit closer. Yeah, in the same time, thank you. Now, this is selfie. Let's see. Okay. So, is everybody here? Can we have a cheer? Yes, and we can put it on Facebook so you can also like it. Or you can put it on Instagram and show a heart if you want. Okay, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. This concludes the panel on the youth work. It was brilliant to have you here, and let's not forget, this is just the beginning of a beautiful friendship. Yes, thank you. Yes, Europe goes local people, don't forget to stay here to close your things. Convention people, don't forget to go in the other room to close your things. And the youth centers, youth capitals people, don't forget to go in the lobby in order to sign your charter. Thank you. Mulțumesc și eu. Da, știu. Ai văzut că ne-am...
Yeah, just go.
Go now. Okay, so we are going to have a closure of EGL conference. So we kindly invite all of our participants to stay here, take your seat, and join us for last moments that we're going to spend together now. Okay, so we are ready to have a closure of the 4th EGL conference.